At this very moment, in a serene small town, a grandmother is engrossed in cooking, as that tends to be a common activity for the elderly. Grandma Shirley says her nightmare started when her grandson's caller ID popped up on her phone. The 89-year-old heard her grandson's voice on the other end.
I have to keep myself calm enough to get my grandson out of jail.
The San Diego grandma went to the bank and is seen on ring cam video handing over $9,000 in cash to a man in a baseball cap.
Hope you enjoyed that story, and just so you know, it has absolutely nothing to do with what I'm going to be covering today, with the exception of, let's go. Old people. All right. I don't know how I'm supposed to start this off with. Yeah, so. They are these aging, wrinkled human beings that get grumpier and more pessimistic as they get older. But somewhere near the ripe age of 90, they become cute again, like an infant. They even shit their pants, like an infant. But no matter what they say to you, it's always funny and cute. They can try to be hip and cool.
Now, Mama, do it.
They can be grumpy.
What do you think about her, Grandma?
I think she's ugly.
They can be incredibly kind and loving. They can sexually harass you.
Medicine, no. You don't want to suck my dick.
And they can even curse you out.
You ain't got a goddamn thing to do with it.
And no matter what, old people are cute. So imagine how disappointed I was when I found out that some of my favorite talking heads out here on YouTube are standing behind a grift.
I trust Birch Gold to help you diversify into gold.
That's why we chose to work with our new sponsor, American Hartford Gold.
Birch Gold can help you create a well-thought-out, balanced investment strategy.
You see, Birch Gold Group offers you an opportunity to hedge against inflation.
These ads target our grandparents. Hell, they probably target our parents as well. The gold companies use media outlets and YouTube channels to convince seniors that investing in precious metals is a secure way to protect their wealth, exploiting the perception of stock market and economic volatility. But here's the big twist. Are you ready for it?
All right, zip it.
These gold companies use famous conservative media outlets like Fox News and Newsmax and right-leaning personalities on YouTube to promote these hot, garbage-coated Turkish gold. You see, it's pitched as a hedge against inflation as well as a powerful currency during another world war or a very, very likely civil war. But my question to you is, what type of American are you?
What kind of American are you? You don't know?
They lean heavy on the audience that is consumed by the economic downfall of society and is predominantly conservative. It's the truth. No one's gonna change any of these laws. You got the cons too busy buying this shit gold that has been marked up as much as 200%, and the other side is too busy fighting over dildos in schools.
What context is a strap-on dildo acceptable for public school? That's my question to you.
As you are not an expert, in this book...
I don't have to be an expert to know that dildos aren't appropriate for public school.
There was actually one person, though, in Congress that tried to make a difference, who wanted to destroy the monopoly on violating old people. Congressman Anthony Weiner.
Exactly. Can you tell me what that list, in your view...
You haven't allowed me to finish. If you allow me to finish the question,
because you're reading 46
then
random
you can
names
do
off the internet
whatever you want.
Of some fucking insane website.
Yep, that a-hole from the Patrick Bet David podcast. Oh, also he was known as that married guy who couldn't stop sexting underage girls with a particular interest of showing off his wiener.
We are back now with disgraced former U.S. Congressman Anthony Weiner heading to prison. The New York Democrat was sentenced to 21 months for sending obscene messages to a 15-year-old girl.
Listen! Anyone willing to risk their entire life to show off their wiener to some random woman online was on the trajectory to end up on How to Catch a Predator.
What are you doing here today?
Is this some kind of setup or something?
He just happened to stumble in the business of politics.
She's married to Anthony Weiner, who's a perv. You know, the little bing, 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 bum, bum. I love you very much.
The perfect cover-up for a freak.
Fear the unknown less, then that will help them on their role towards tolerance, acceptance, and really developing a welcoming environment.
Honestly, all jokes aside, to put this scam into perspective, according to the National Council of Aging, That's a real thing. It reported that scams targeting older adults are on the rise. In 2022 alone, there were 88,262 complaints of fraud, resulting in $3.1 billion in losses from people ages 60 and up. So there's a clear market to take advantage of the elderly. Lear Capital, for example, a Los Angeles-based company, prominently advertises gold and silver coins on the right-wing media outlets, particularly Fox News. They've been slapped a few times on the wrist. Bad boys. A specific case involves Terry White, a disabled retiree from New York who invested $174,000 into Lear Capital coin in 2018. According to a lawsuit by New York Attorney General, Lear charged a 33% commission, resulting in significant financial losses for White immediately. White's wife holds Fox News responsible for their financial predicament, stating that they believe that Fox wouldn't air commercials unless they were legitimate. Ladies and gentlemen, listen, do me a favor. Can you stop relying on Fox News and CNN? Instead, rely on ground.news. If you're not sure what that is, well, it's an AI platform that collects all the various different articles from various different news outlets and will inform you where the source is coming from and whether or not the source is right-leaning, left-leaning, or center. Make sure you check out the link in my description. And yes, I guess this is a video that is sponsored by my affiliate link. Call it what it is. Lear Capital spokesman Tracy Williams blames the customers. Defending Lear's operation, claimed that most customers would have made a profit if they had sold at the recent market high.
No shit.
Oh, do I love it every single time when I find one of these little financial gurus and these financial companies are just taking advantage of people and they take zero responsibility for their actions and they just deflect all the time.
Off the rip, if there's anybody that has ever scammed someone or taken advantage of people, you should be ashamed and embarrassed.
Luckily, there's people out there like JT the Pocket Watcher that exposes all of these scams. Then there's also CoffeeZilla as well. Check out both of them. I think you'll like them. You have no reason to fall for any of these scamming tricks anymore. New York Attorney General filed a lawsuit against Lear, and as part of their settlement, the company agreed to repay some customers and improve the fee disclosure. Los Angeles also filed their lawsuit, with 90% going to the restitution fund for the eligible customers and 10% allocated to the penalties. Lear Capital also was required to implement changes in their practices, including obtaining verbal consent before transactions and informing customers of their rights to cancel within 24 hours. So basically, I gotta tell you that I'm going to f you over on hour 25. After numerous lawsuits, Lear Capital recently emerged from bankruptcies, indicating its ongoing presence in the industry.
Yeah. I think I want my money back.
Other companies like Goldline, Merit Financial, and Metals.com all have faced the same criticism for the same tactics. If you want to dive into some more stories related to these type of gold scams, Scott Schaefer delivered a great video on this topic, and in fact, that's what inspired me to look into this topic further. And the worst part about all of this is I dislike Scott Schaefer because he's got beef with some of my peoples. Gang mentality. I thought I had a red bandana. I also thought I had my sunglasses. I had them as props, but I have kids who go through my shit. And they take things and they don't put it back. A scarf or something. I don't know. I look more like a damn slave. No, seriously though, check out his channel. He has some, good reporting and uncovers some good scams. His content is, however, sometimes also dry and boring at times, but it's well documented and in depth. And you should also go over there and subscribe, but don't do the like. I don't want you to do that. But you can comment. But when you do comment, make sure it's only the middle finger. I'm sorry, I'm so conflicted with Scott Schaefer. It is what it is. Even the physical gold pieces itself are significantly overpriced and inflated compared to the gold market. In the simplest dummy term, if a gold ounce, for example, costs $10, you may be paying $30 to $40 for that same ounce, instantly putting you in the hole. Then depending where you get your physical bars from, you may be buying gold that is also filled or plated. The fact that they also brand their bars and coins limits where you can sell for profit. You can usually sell right back to the company where you bought it from, but they will buy it back to you from an undervalued price.
What?
So don't fall for those YouTubers and those doomsdayers that are shills for these companies. Although the elderly are proportionally more susceptible to these commercials and these ad scams because they come from an era where I guess more people put more trust into the media and the government, so therefore they trust them a lot more, especially if they have that hardcore conservative blood running through their veins. Nevertheless, the younger audience are starting to fall victim through this as well, through these influencers, and websites that are being cloned, for example, Aura. You can now get scammed by a clone of a website of another questionable, respectable, and trustworthy company. The latest gold companies that are being sponsored all over YouTube is Birch Gold and Gold Co. As of right now, they have not got themselves into any serious scandals with the exception of the typical complaints of the exuberant, unnecessary fees such as Birch Gold. For example, starting a self-directed precious metal IRA with Birch Gold, the group requires at least a minimum of $10,000 contribution. There's a $50 one-time account setup fee, a $30 single wire transfer, an annual storage and insurance fee of $100, $100 yearly management fees. When you deposit more than $50,000, the firm will waive the yearly fees for the first year if you decide to store your gold and the silver with a reliable custodian chosen by Birch Gold, which means they probably get a cut from it. There won't be an annual percentage of assets under management paid to you. To put it briefly, you will never have to spend more than $200 a year for administration, insurance, and storage. That may not sound like a lot right now, but compound that $200 over several years. It's a lot of money that you possibly are losing, as well as the value of gold, because remember, is gold really a good asset?
The average annual rate of return on gold is about 1% over the last 70, 80 years. Over the last 5 years, it is broke even. If you go back before that, it was the high when everybody was scared to death that the economy was going to crash. A bunch of people put gold. It was $2,200 an ounce. Now it's $1,400 an ounce. You would have lost 34% since then.
There's also limitation on the possession, the physical possession of the IRA gold. But just doing a little bit of research and due diligence, I found out that Birch Gold and Gold Co. kind of strike me as one of those businesses that makes most of their money off of their fees versus the gold itself. The maintenance fees and the storage fees, but I wouldn't be surprised in a couple of years or so if they end up biting the dust as well. And if you watch Scott Schaefer's video, you will see that there's a specific trend within the gold business where people just kind of move around within the industry. It's kind of like the Roman Catholics with their popes that are pedos.
Former Pope Benedict XVI failed to take action against clerics in 4 cases of alleged sexual abuse in his native Germany.
Just move it over here and everything's fine. Buy your gold in a stock market exchange. They even have these gold ETFs like ticker symbol GLD. And if you're worried about having physical gold in case of an economic collapse, I promise you, schlepping around a backpack full of gold that weighs around 125 to 200 pounds isn't going to help you, and it will cause you serious back pain. But if you think that the world is going to end and you're one of those doomsdayers, you probably should just get yourself a crypto wallet, hundreds of gallons of water, gas, food, and guns. Your gold isn't going to do shit for you besides using it as a weapon to smash someone's head. And of course, it's also just dead weight.
Is it me or does he look like he's kind of dead?
Nope. No more than usual.
Hell, you could even invest in gold through the futures market. There are so many alternative ways you can invest into gold that doesn't consist of you using these questionable gold companies that are out there.
Oh, by the way, during the 5 years that gold broke even, the S&P's up 34%, 33%. And so had you invested in good mutual funds instead of in gold, you would have actually made some money in the last 5 years.
So ladies and gentlemen, let's start a movement here. Share this video with all your elderly friends, family members, and show your granny this video next time you're changing her diapers, while she continuously ridicules you and calls you a pathetic little man, and the only reason she married you was because you accidentally got her pregnant and she didn't want to look like a 1940 thought in a society that held women at a higher standard. You gotta remind her over and over that you are her grandson, not grandpa that passed away 15 years ago, and now you gotta question whether or not this motorcycle accident that he was in was coincidence. Elderly lives matter. Let's wrap it up by actually tying the beginning up with the story.
Many of the scams involve bogus tech support, non-payment claims, confidence, and romance schemes. Oglesby thinks a major reason for this spike is crooks becoming more sophisticated, using realistic phone numbers and web pages. Don't assume they're legit.
Call the numbers that you know and trust, contact that company directly, and ask them questions and verify, is this a legitimate thing that's happening? Or is this a scam that I'm dealing with?
So what's your thoughts on this? Please comment below, let me know. I'm gonna end it nicely. Kiss your parents, kiss your grandparents, and kiss your great-great-grandparents if they're still around. Until next time, peace out.